What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one, the only, Ash Said It. AshSaidIt.com, AshSaidIt.com. Welcome to the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. I appreciate you guys for all of your love and support. Over 1,700 episodes and 500,000 streams worldwide. None of this would be possible without you guys, so I thank you so very, very much. It's a beautiful day here in the A-Town, the ATL, and, love is in the air. I know that some of you guys have, you've been struck by love time and time again, so I've got my buddy, Olivia Starling from the Starlette Galleria with us today. Hey, Olivia.
Hey, Ash, how are you?
I am great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Awesome. So, Olivia, to start things off, where are you from? Where do you represent?
So, I live in Colorado Springs, Colorado right now, but I can't go without repping my home state of Wyoming. I might be the only person you've ever met from Wyoming, but that's where I grew up.
Awesome. Okay, you are, I would say you're maybe the first person I've ever known from Wyoming. That's really cool.
I know. It's a small state. There's more cows than people. So.
But Colorado is so nice, too. I was actually stationed in Colorado for a minute, and it's really awesome out there. Okay, before I get sidetracked. Okay, your brand. All right, Starlette Galleria. Now, what was the big inspiration behind this brand?
I've always been a big business nerd, and so I knew I wanted to start a business. I was in a corporate job that was just sucking the life out of me, and I really wanted to move to a digital marketing position, and I heard countless no's. You don't have enough experience. So I thought, well, then I'll just start a business to get experience, to get to the place I want to be. And so I did tons of research on, passive income or how to make money when you're not working. And I came up with Shopify and products and things like that. And so I knew I was going to sell a physical product online, but I wasn't quite sure what product I wanted. So I went on AliExpress. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah. I think everybody knows about Ali. Everyone is, but I'll say this. I've known at least one person, myself included. I've gotten got by Ali a couple of times.
Oh, yeah. You have to be so careful. So I went on there, and I ordered a million things that I could be interested in. I ordered hair products. I ordered jade face rollers, macrame, plant holders. I tried everything. I was like, what could I be interested in? But I found this, ring that looked like an engagement ring, and I was like, oh, that's kind of pretty. And so I put it in my cart and purchased it. And when it came in, it was actually my favorite thing. I was like, oh, if I have to look at something every day, I would love to look at these. But, it turned my finger green. It wasn't great quality. And I thought, I wonder if I could make an engagement ring that's not real that has this phenomenal quality. And so, sure enough, I was able to get a manufacturer, and we developed these really, really nice sterling silver. They're plated in rhodium or gold. We have super, super clear AAA grade CZ in it. And then also, instead of gluing the stone into a setting, we have them placed in a setting with prongs, just like a real diamond would be. So it's super high quality. They're so pretty. You can't even tell the difference.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I got started.
Okay. Now, what about the name? Because I love the name. I absolutely adore it.
So my daughter is named Stella Grace. And when I was naming my business, I really wanted to name it Stella Grace.
Yeah.
But there's already a jewelry company named Stella and Dot. So for trademark reasons, and our last name is Starling, and stars are really symbolic in our life. Stella means star in Latin, and I have a tattoo of a star. It's just a really symbolic thing. So I ended up naming it Starlette Galleria. And that's...
But it sounds so luxurious. That's why I look, just even saying a Starlette Galleria, it just sounds like, oh my gosh, this is a top name brand. You guys better start paying attention because the takeover is happening.
Right.
I love it.
It is. It's happening. Bit by bit, we're getting there.
Yes. For you, Olivia, as the founder, this woman-founded company, I love it. That just being able to say that, I absolutely love that. But being that this company that you founded on your own, and you've continuously through the pandemic and everything else that's going on, you've been able to adapt and adjust. For you, what was the moment of confirmation that let you know that this was absolutely what you're supposed to be doing?
Yeah. So I started this business, and I think I was spending a lot of time working on it, and everyone around me was like, what are you doing? Like, this can't possibly happen. And I remember hearing a lot of criticism from people around me. And so, I started the company. I got the product developed, and it was actually sitting in China waiting to come over. And I saw this influencer online, and I knew influencer marketing works. I just knew it was going to work. And her name was Jasmine Ray Hair Co. And she had the most beautiful hair, and she would post and teach women how to go longer between washes. And I was obsessed with her, and everything she said to buy, I would buy. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to reach out to this woman and see if she would take one of my rings. Yes. Yeah, and she was pregnant at the time. And so I sent her a message. I had to, do some digging because Instagram, my message would get lost in the shuffle. Yeah. So she owned a salon in Boise, Idaho. So I totally, found her salon page on Facebook and sent a message. And it was so funny because I was like, hey, girl, I know you're pregnant right now. When I was pregnant, my fingers got super huge and I couldn't wear my wedding ring. Would you like me to send you one of these wedding rings? And I think I was in the fake it till I make it kind of category because I didn't even have my product yet. It was still sitting in China. But I just believed in it so much. So I sent her this message, and then I thought, oh my gosh, I just told this woman that her fingers are chubby. So I was the next message I sent was, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I don't mean you have chubby fingers. I just did, can I get you a ring for your very skinny fingers? And I think my weird personality, she was laughing at this message and how I found her. She was like, yeah, for sure. So the rings came in, and I literally took the package and sent it to her. And really the business was barely even started. Yeah. So I sent her these rings, and she sends me, or she goes into labor, has her baby. I don't hear from her, but I message her and check in and ask about the baby. One day I'm sitting at lunch, and I've had 0 sales to this point, maybe 2 or 3. And I've been working for 4 months on this project. Yeah. And I'm sitting at lunch with a friend, and if you have Shopify and you have a product-based business, every time you get a sale on Shopify, it goes cha-ching. So I'm sitting at lunch with a friend, and I hear a cha-ching, and I'm like, oh, cool, somebody bought something from me. And I hear it again, cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, my gosh, I'm getting hacked. I panicked. I was like, what is happening? No. And I know, so then I go on Instagram, and sure enough, she shared it in her stories and sold every single ring that I had in my whole store. I think we did 12,000 in sales in one day. And I remember my ex-husband, we were married at the time. I remember him and I looking at each other and being like, oh my gosh, this is real. Because I think I even doubted myself. So it's oh, this could really happen. And so I took all of that money, reinvested, and bought 2 times the inventory. But that was the confirmation. And I was like, oh, so it can work. And so then I just kept constantly reinvesting. I worked with Jasmine several times after. Our best day, we did 35,000 in sales, which was the craziest thing ever. So ever since then, it was okay, I needed that one moment, that God moment where he's like, you're doing what I told you to do. Because before that, I was really discouraged.
Yeah, and I think that people think sometimes when you start a business, because, I'm guilty of it as well, is when you start a business, you're like, oh my gosh, I have this great idea, everyone's going to love it, and it's just going to just leap off the ground into just, success. And there's so much that you don't hear about the struggle stories of the Beyoncés of the world, or, you don't hear about all that. You just oh my gosh, she's just fabulous and she's wonderful. But her family had to sacrifice a lot. She had to sacrifice a lot. And I feel... She
did. And one of... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. You good?
I was just going to say, it's funny that you say that because I was always really shy and introverted. And one time I heard Beyonce talk about when she gets on stage, she channels Sasha Fierce.
Yes.
She calls her. And so I had to come up with an alter ego to make my business keep running because I was so shy in the beginning. But she's sacrificed and she's worked so hard, and it's like such an inspiration. I absolutely adore the woman.
Yeah. Now, but Olivia, what is, I'm not going to let you just walk away from this. Like, what is the name of your alter ego? I know she has a name.
That's funny. I think the alter ego is like based off of my Instagram page. Olivia is not an influencer. I think the name is still Olivia, but it's that attitude of like not an influencer, not this, not that. Like I don't care what people think of me kind of attitude. That like when I created that Instagram page, it was like I'm just gonna be real and honest with people, and you can love me or you can hate me. So that was kind of like that was the alter ego was. When I finally took the expectations or the things that I thought people wanted me to do and I threw it away and I just became myself.
I love it. Now, what is on the horizon for Starlette Galleria?
So we just actually started and relaunched an affiliate program. And so now instead of just using big influencers like Jasmine, we're taking everybody as an influencer, and they can sign up and sell my jewelry and get 10% commission, which is a really good commission for how high ticket, like our average cart value is $100 or more. And so people can actually make quite a bit of money. And then I hired this amazing woman to lead the group, and she does a great job of training women on how to sell socially and how to empower them and how to get them going. So it's great for Starlette Galleria. We're getting the sales, but I think my biggest motivation is that we're going to take these women and we're going to build their confidence. We're going to build their bank account. We're going to make their life better. And that's really where my heart lies in business and all of that. The jewelry is amazing, but it's a tool to help women. That's really what I see it as. I
love that. I absolutely adore that. Now, the engagement ring collection, these rings are absolutely just breathtaking. Like I'm still like looking at pictures. I'm going through like your Insta and I'm like, oh my God, like this is CZ. Like this doesn't even look like it's not like these are literally like top shelf rings that are like a fraction of the cost that if you went to like a high end jewelry place. So I'm absolutely
we worked really hard on that.
Yeah, you guys absolutely did that. Gorgeous collection.
The biggest thing for me was just to make sure that we had quality standards that were well above other people. So we have a 30-day warranty, so that like if a stone comes out or something like that, we 100% want to take care of our customers.
Right.
We make sure that they're all happy. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on our website, and our customer is our main focus, and we listen to what our customers want, and sometimes they'll be like, we want an oval, and I'm like, okay, I will develop an oval ring. And so I just keep my heart and soul into what the customers want with the product choices, and that's how we've led this company to grow so much in 3 years.
Yes, and you guys continue to just grow and make all these amazing additions, because now, we're in the midst of summer. Now, those of us that may not, much like myself, we're not engaged. I absolutely still love the rings. I would rock out some of your rings still. Just play it off.
I totally agree with that. So we have women that have messaged me and said, I bought myself a self-love ring.
Yes.
And I absolutely love that idea. And so I ended up buying one for myself when I was going through my divorce. And I wrote myself a set of vows that I was going to honor and love and respect myself. Aww. And so it was kind of dorky. And I was super embarrassed the first time I told somebody, but I think that you should put a ring on it every single day.
Yeah.
Before anybody else does.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like you said, self-love, I think that's one big thing in our society that it's just not celebrated as much for women. We're supposed to be the breadwinners. We're supposed to be the one to take care of the house and rear the children and stuff. And there's so much put on us that a lot of times we're so much looking forward and looking to help everyone else in the family that we forget about ourselves. So I love the fact
that. True.
We definitely need to continue to love on ourselves. Now, a little birdie told me, Olivia, that you've recently had an article featured in Forbes. That's some huge business. That's huge. Talk about that a little bit.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I was asked to write an article, and it was 5 tips for millennial entrepreneurs. And first I wrote it, and I wrote a copy that was very basic. And I was like, you know what? This does not feel authentic. So I deleted it. I came back to it. I rewrote it with literally everything that I wish somebody would have told me before I became an entrepreneur. And I didn't know that it was going to Forbes. I didn't have any idea. And I actually didn't know for 24 hours that it was even posted in Forbes.
Wow.
So that was super exciting that the article was posted and shared in Forbes. And ever since then, we've had kind of a spiral effect where I just keep getting asked now to talk about that topic for people and elaborate more on it. And so it's just been such a blessing. It's been so cool.
Absolutely. Last but certainly not least, what words of wisdom or advice could you offer to the single moms out there that have an idea, but they just think that maybe it's too late for me to do that idea and execute? What words of wisdom would you offer to them today?
You know, and when you're a single mom, I know there's just so much pressure on you to do everything. But I think the mindset that I always keep when I'm making a big decision is, what would I want my daughter to do? How would I talk to her if she was in my position? And I would want my daughter to chase her dreams. I would want her to live her best life. I would want her to take the risk.
Right.
And so if you're sitting here with self-doubt and things like that, think about how you talk to your kids and talk to yourself that way, because we just need to be nicer to ourselves. We need to speak to ourselves with kind and loving words, which I know a lot of women aren't able to do. And so we've got to just kind of give ourselves some care and love.
I love that. Olivia Starling, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate
you. Thank you so much, Ash.
Let everyone know the best way to get in contact with you guys and, of course, to follow you across social media.
Yeah, so visit www.starlettegalleria.com. That's Starlette with 2 T's. And find me on Instagram. Olivia is not an influencer. I give out tons of business tips and ideas and things away for free because I love my followers.
I love it. And also, another little birdie told me that you got a little promo code for our listeners today.
Oh, I do. I'm going to offer you guys a very exclusive 40% off code, which is the best code we have this month.
Yes.
If you use the code Ash said it at checkout.
I love it. Thank you so much, Olivia. Much more success. Of course, I mean, you've got to come back and talk about the new stuff that's happening, because I know you got some stuff on the stove cooking you couldn't talk about today. So I know you gotta come back and share that with us. I like exclusives, Olivia. Putting it out into the universe.
Oh, you'll be the first to know.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for your love and support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do. You look them square in the face. You tell them, don't believe me. Just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.